Good morning, good morning. What's going on, YouTube? It's me, the BBK, and welcome back to the Boss's Pool House. Child, first I just want to put up my disclaimer because I'm going to quickly talk about somebody and something that we know that someone else don't like. Ugh. Anywho's, this is copyright. This is fair use commentary under the Fair Use Act of 1976. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Here is Peter. Not Peter Pumpkin Eater. Had a wife and couldn't keep her. Not him. This is Peter Negard. I believe is the right way to pronounce his name. He is a very well-known fashion designer. That is his career, his business. He has multiple areas and properties and stuff all over the country. He does recruiting of modeling, his fashions, and he recruits children, adults, seniors. He will model whatever age group he needs to. However, he was using his modeling gig to attract women, and then he is being indicted by the federal government for sex trafficking. So I guess you guys already know where he used to hang out at, right? I'm sure he probably used to hang out over on the island, but we won't talk too much about the island because we know how sensitive YouTube is about, when we talk about the island. But what is a known fact is that he has been indicted. He has shut down his website where he recruited a lot of women and girls. The reports from the New York Times, the Washington Post, and several other high priority and knowledgeable bloggers are reporting that girls were drugged and tricked, lied to into having sex with him. A lot of things were done to keep them over there. Now, again, this is all what's being reported for an alleged indictment on him from the federal government. He is from Canada. This indictment came out of New York. And what they're saying, I'm going to go ahead and remove the picture so it won't be an incentive for YouTube to be upset. But what they're saying is that he is suspected of being heavily involved in sex trafficking, in several different charges. For me, the key is offering someone a modeling contract, get them over there to modeling. And of course, now these women are traveling around the world, possibly, but they're not traveling around the world to model per se. They're traveling around the world and they're being treated as sex slaves, I guess, or sex workers. From what I read on the report a moment ago, and shout out to my boss king Anthony, he turned me on to this article this in the Wicked Hour this morning, and just gave me a quick rundown. So I went to pull the we'll talk about that. I went to pull the records, and I did see where the indictment has already come down. It's sad when you gotta trick a kid into coming over and modeling your clothes just so you can have sex with them. Like, that's pretty sick. I mean, it's already sick enough. Like, look at how old he is. You can't find no old ass women that want to give you some, where you gotta trick other people and you gotta slip stuff in their drink and do all of the things. What really get me is that in the article that I was reading about the indictment, they spoke on the fact that his PR person said no comment, as he should, but They said the man shut down his website. Now, see, people would skim over that and say, well, no big deal. He shut down his website. He said he's complying with the investigation. He knows that they will clear his name. He is not guilty of any of those charges. Well, why you shut down your website, homeboy? You know why you shut down your website? I'm going to tell you why. Number one, the website probably contained an offer to come and model for him or work for him. And in that offer, there were certain conditions, I'm sure. The website shut down, so I haven't been able to get to it. And that website probably contained an application, a link, or a way to contact them to send them your contact information, to apply for the job. And that website would contain all of the victims' information. So these people who will be coming forward and testifying or doing depositions or whatever, or telling their story about what happened during their experience with Peter, all of their information would be inside their website. It would be inside his records. So that would be like a smoking gun. That would at least put some dirt over him. It wouldn't necessarily throw him in the grave, but their testimony would throw him in the grave. But their website will put the dirt over the casket. So they took it down. And if you're a businessman and this is what you've been doing, this indictment is dating back as far as 1995. Y'all, that's 15 years ago. You've been doing this for 15 years? Of course you have. You were friends with the people on the island. It's sad. It's so sad. But that's the business these days. That seems to be the going thing. And I'm going to tell you something else. Like I told you guys the other day, something is going down because all of their friends now are starting to get indicted over these sex trafficking accusations. Now, they applied or turned in or submitted the paperwork for the indictment on November 23rd. But I guess it was just approved by the judge. And they said that the records and whatnot were unsealed. So it's interesting that they are unsealing records that involve sex trafficking of children and or minors, and you want everybody to see who's involved. I mean, think about it. Why did you seal the records in the first place? Right? You seal the records to protect someone, right? I'm guessing you sealed the records initially to protect the kids. Or was it that you were protecting your colleagues who were being accused? I mean, I guess the world will never know. But, yeah. So we'll bring some more information to you about Peter, because I'm sure the story is going to get very, very interesting.